What were you struggling with socially before starting this coaching, and how bad was your social anxiety at that point?
Well, to summarize it, I basically had like no friends, no connections, and I remember like I used to walk on the street and wherever I would go, I was kind of afraid of looking at people because I didn't want to be noticed. I didn't want to, disturb anyone. I didn't want to, make anyone feel bad or something. And I think because I was afraid of the outcome, I was at the really low point and, I was hopeless. I didn't know what to do because I used to watch all this content and read all these books, but I then took action, and yeah, I think I was very bad.
Why did you choose this coaching over other options like therapy, books, or YouTube advice?
Well, to be honest, I think coaching is just a tool, and it's not something like, for example, if you do coaching, you don't read books or you don't watch content or you don't do anything else. I feel like it's more like a tool and you just add it, So for example, I still read books. I got one good suggestion from my coach here, but I choose coaching because I've tried the other stuff, and I wanted to try this too. I wanted to see how it's different. I wanted to see how what's gonna happen. And it worked well. I'm really grateful for the experience. But to summarize it and to put in action, I think coaching should be treated as a layer, as another tool that you have access to and you have to use it. Now, when it comes to me, I, I like reading books. With content, I don't really consume that much, but I think for people who are watching this and they wanna, think about coaching or stuff, don't think like you have to give up on everything else just to do like coaching because I think it's better if it's used as a tool.
What specific results have you seen in the past month in social situations with women or your overall confidence?
Well, I'm gonna give you a couple of examples because I want to make sure that you have everything right. So first thing, this past week I approached like the two bodybuilders in my gym. They look very big, very scary or whatever. And I went to them and I said like it wasn't like the right, you know, approach line or something. I even stumbled and I was almost like gonna hurt myself, but it was fun. And I asked him, I gave him like some compliments and stuff like that. And I asked them like to give me some tips because I want to bulk as well. And they were like very open to do that. They even they grabbed their phone, they showed me like the app, both of them, they showed me the app. They were tracking calories and macro and all that stuff. They showed me like how they eat, how they structure their routines and stuff like that, and they were really helpful. I wasn't expecting them to be that open. I was expecting them to be that nice. Now, when it comes to women in general, this past week, I feel like I spoke with like, let's say 20, more than 20 girls. And, the biggest discovery that I made is that, they're just humans as well. They just have their needs. They want to be seen as everyone else. They want to have a good time, And this is like major improvement for me because I used to speak like 0 to 1, maybe per month. And now it's like a big jump per week. Now I'll be honest, and I know there's still a lot of improvement to be done, but I'm really glad I made this progress. And when it comes to confidence, I think the biggest thing is that I just believe in myself more. I think that's very important, and that's like one thing that really changed me from this coaching is that I have to believe myself more, and rejection is like a good thing. It's like a tool. I mean, when you get rejected, you just know that you're not compatible or a match with that other person, and it's just gonna save you time. It's just gonna make you learn new stuff, and it's gonna make you a better person overall.
How did your approach anxiety change through this coaching? Can you describe a moment that proved it was gone?
Yeah, so for the first question, I used to see like, I don't know, a big mountain, a big obstacle that I didn't have like a plan, to overcome that. But after I started the coaching, I saw it more like a challenge, like an opportunity to learn. And one thing that helped me is that the coach helped me understand that I have to believe in myself first. I have to, if I don't believe that I'm gonna be able to, achieve my goal and make sure that I'll overcome this situation, nothing's gonna happen. So I had to believe in myself more and also to do the action. And to give you like a specific moment, I used to, like, I think 2 weeks ago, I had like this recruitment stuff. I had to recruit people for like a club and stuff. And it was random because I, people were passing in my like in front of me, and I had to stop them. I say like, "Hi, what's your name?" or stuff like that. And most of the time, they didn't even reply back. I used to look at them, and they would just look at the phone and go past me. But a weird thing that happened is that I didn't feel bad. Instead, I feel like I don't know, I was happy. I was like excited. I wanted to do it more, and I really enjoyed it. It was it was a good feeling, and it's weird because they didn't. Most of them, like 90% of them, didn't reply back, and I tried with like 20 something persons, and it was like a nice experience. It was, I don't know, I can't explain it really in words. It was a good experience.
What mindset shift or technique from the coaching had the biggest impact on destroying your social fear?
All right, this is a good question. I mean, before, when I saw someone and I want to speak with, like the first thing that would pop out in my mind was like the outcome, was like, what's he's gonna respond? Like, maybe he just wants to be let alone. Maybe he doesn't wanna, maybe he or she doesn't want to speak or something like that. And I think the biggest, mindset shift was that don't have to focus on the outcome. Like, if you want to do something, just do it. Outcome is not important as long as you're just doing it because you want to do it. You're just doing it because you want to get better at it. It's making you feel better. You can't control what other people are going to tell you or how they feel or their actions, but you can control yourself, and you can control yourself to do the action no matter what the outcome is, because the outcome used to instill a lot of fear in me, and that's one of the things that I guess stopped me from advancing and from making a lot of progress in these past weeks.
What was it like being coached by me personally? How would you describe my teaching style and how it helped you?
All right, so it's weird because it felt like I was speaking to a friend who wasn't afraid to help me and tell me honest stuff. And to be honest, now that the coaching is ending, it's like a tough moment because this was really like more of a service. Now, even though I wouldn't always, first thing when I heard stuff, I wouldn't always agree in my mind with what a coach would say. After thinking about them and, you know, going through my day, it took me a while at first to understand that, well, he's here to help me. This is like his experience. This is how he learned, and he just wants to give it back to me. Now, what I had to do was put the stuff in action, and based on that, based on the like the feedback that I would get, then maybe make some small twists or stuff like that. But I think the most important thing is that he wasn't afraid of telling me stuff that I didn't do wrong. And like I said, at first I wasn't really comfortable with that, you know. But I think right now I got more comfortable with that, and I made some progress. I like when people, tell you exactly what you need to do, tell you like what's wrong. And I think Easy does like a good job with that. I think he's not afraid of, you know, telling you stuff and making you feel like that you have to do improvement and that you're not in the right place at this moment.
What was your biggest breakthrough moment during the coaching that made you realize you are not the same person anymore?
Well, to be honest, and I have thought about this like for a long time because whenever you hear someone has like a transformation, it's like this moment they have. But for me, to be honest, I don't know. There's no like a specific moment. I feel like it was a road, it was like me going on the highway and I left from point A and now I'm at point B. And I feel like every single experience that I had, every single, lesson and every single minute on the calls that we had, it just made me like, you know, better at the skill of speaking with people and approaching people. And now that I look at myself, I feel like, I don't know, when I go through my day, it just feels like I'm a different person. I act differently. I, you know, go through my day differently. I think differently. And I think that's like the biggest improvement. I can't think like of a single moment that, switched me and made me a superhero or stuff like that. But I think it's the actions, doing like what he says on a daily basis, doing your best, and just going with the challenges, making sure that you're gonna do your best and you're gonna become like a person that's at the next level.
Have other people noticed a change in you? What kind of reactions have you gotten from friends or strangers?
Well, this is a very good question. My friend yesterday we went to the mall and in the car he told me that he sees me that I work this hard and I do such and such things. I do challenges for myself and I try to instill that in other people around me. And that he told me that I will have like a good career and I'll make a lot of money and stuff like that. So that might be true, but you know, because I'm almost started from zero with friends and my social life, not many people, notice my transition, and that's all right because I just met them during this process. But to be honest, I don't think anyone actually cares. Like this, maybe two or three people in my life that, you know, see when I make improvements and achievements, and they're always there for me. They support me no matter what, and I'm there for them as well. I think you have to do it for yourself. I mean, for me, it is no point in doing it for other people, especially like when it comes with social anxiety and stuff like that. You're gonna find people, if you do the actions, you're gonna find people who wanna be around you and who you wanna be around. And I don't think that's very important just to get praised by people and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, like everyone has their own problems, everyone has their own life, and yeah, they don't care about you that much. And this is a lesson that I really got from the amount of coaching we had here with my coach. And yeah, that's my opinion.
If someone's skeptical or nervous about joining this coaching, what will you tell them?
I'm going to tell you something, and it's very, very important. Think about this. What could go wrong? Worst case scenario, you pay like the fee, you get in, you don't get anything. That's the worst case scenario. But base case scenario, you pay, you get in the coaching month, and there's unlimited potential. And I'm telling you, with this coaching month that you're gonna get, the potential is unlimited and it only depends on you. Like the coach is gonna be here for you. He's a great guy. But if you don't put in the action, if you don't give your best, you're not gonna get amazing results. But I think that's very important to keep in mind is that there's unlimited. If you work 10 times harder, you're gonna get 10 times better results. And that applies to everyone. So it matters how much you're willing to do, and the coach is always gonna be here for you. He's gonna, I even told him when we started, like, they were like, I had like a rough start, to be honest. It wasn't the best one because I didn't do all what I could. And even after like a couple, 3, 4 days, he even believed in me and he even told me like, let's go. You have to do this. make sure you're getting your daily tasks and stuff like that. So he's always gonna be here. That's his job, that's why he gets paid. But like it's gonna be up to you because he won't be able to do the actions for you. You have to make your best, and based on that you're gonna see results. If you do like, you know, your best, everything's gonna be fine.
If you had to summarize the impact of this coaching in one sentence, what would you say?
Maybe believe that everything is possible if you believe in it and you act accordingly.